Welcome back to Whatever You Want, a podcast about celebrating storytelling. We're back. It's been a while. Happy late St. Patty's Day, Daniel. We'll record this before St. Patrick's Day. This goes out the day after St. Patrick's Day, but it's one of my favorite holidays, so I wanted to dress up. And thank you for putting on your green.
Thank you. Yeah, dude. I thought I had more green shirts, but this one had green on it technically, so I'm good. I think they're like old ones that I must have recycled out, man. Or like stored away somewhere. So I felt.
Well, you gotta get it for next year. St. Patty's is a good holiday. You gotta wear green though, otherwise you get.
But I got the hat.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ever lose the hat.
I apologize to everyone that this is a little late. We have had things going on. I had my buddy in town 2 weekends ago, and then my sister was in town last weekend over her spring break, and we were all hanging out. And Daniel took forever to see Dune, so we couldn't talk about it.
What do you mean? You were busy either way.
I was busy either way, but I'm still putting part of the blame on you.
I had like family over, and like I was super busy, so my schedule was packed. But you know, it's Daniel's fault because I mean,
it's partially like we could have fit it in somewhere else, but no. But we're talking about it finally. And to get into the spirit of it, I told this to you before, but I kind of have a challenge for us. I want to sing the like Dune chant.
The scream?
Yeah, the scream. Here, I'm going to play it over my mic. You probably won't be able to hear it, but the audience will be able to hear it. This is what we're trying to mimic.
Especially I'm just going to edit it in later.
Oh, I could. That might be smarter. We're doing it live, Daniel. We're doing it live.
I heard like a little key.
What?
That's all I heard.
For you. All right, well, it came through on my end, so it'll come through. So we're going to do that, Daniel. I don't want to hear your best
Am I going
chant.
first or are you going first?
You go first.
All right. So I'm Paul Atreides.
Oh, I thought that was your thing.
I'm Paul Atreides, you know, and I'm
Paul Atreides doesn't do the scream. It's from the score.
I know, but like Hans Zimmer is like seething
channeling
through me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hanabe Kariba.
That's pretty good.
I don't know what the actual words are.
I don't either.
Like sounds. Yeah.
I feel like I need like the drum with it, like the do 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 do. All right, here I go.
Like Kariba. No.
All right. I'm like self-conscious now. I don't know why. What'd you say?
All I heard in that was a kala, and then like you lean back, so I don't think your mic was picking you up. Like,
I apologize.
Was Discord not picking you up?
Yeah, it was Discord because, but like it's gonna peak in the audio for people listening. But just so you know, the peaking probably like filtered the audio bad, but that was spot on in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think Daniel, when you hear the playback, I think you're gonna be impressed.
Yeah. No, I know you could do it. I don't.
Maybe I'll do it further back so it maybe picks up better and it doesn't peak.
Well, no. When you went back is when it went away. That was the funny thing.
But if I do it too close, I don't know. I'm trying it this way for better
good.
audio. I'll try it again. I can't hear you, Daniel. I can't hear you. I'm taking my headphones off. I just see you laughing. I don't know what's happening.
It's cutting out. It's cutting out. So
it's cutting out. Just know I'm giving it my all. Okay. We're limited in my Discord. I think that the beginning of that was good until you made me laugh at the end.
Man, I wish I could like. I mean, you're gonna have my audio. Well, no, you're not gonna have my recording audio, so we'll be able to like see what I hear.
I'll have your recording audio. I get what you mean. Yeah. So, anyways, now I feel like in the Dune spirit. I'm on Arrakis. Let's talk about.
It's kind of funny that we're wearing green though. Like I guess it's like for St. Patty's
it's like
Day
the only color that's not on Arrakis.
Yeah,
because
there's
a lot of
color,
colors
like life and everything. It's like it's all about freaking
because like that's the big theme. He's like, there's gonna be fields of green, and I'll bring you to the promised land. And we're like, haha, we have green in our clothes. You don't.
But yeah, well, starting off, man. Like I've been hearing, it's mainly from my parents. My parents were kind of iffy on it, but like I want to hear what you thought of it. What did you think?
Sorry, I just had some of this orange hair from my hat get in my mouth. But what did I think? Yeah. I really liked it. I haven't been to the movies in a while. I was talking to my roommates about this, but I haven't been to the movies like in a while, probably since Christmas. I think I've been to like one movie between Christmas and now, besides Dune, and this scratched the itch for me like so well for going to like a good movie which makes me also wonder if I'm like loving it too much and I'm not critical enough because I haven't been in the headspace of like movies. I thought the actors were great. The cinematography was fantastic. The sense of like scale that cinematographer is able to always achieve. The music, the costumes, the sets. This is, I feel like, a great example of science fiction and a great example of an epic. Like, I haven't really had a film in a while be like as epic as this, and I feel like this really is deserving of that, I guess, like classification. But on the flip, like I've heard a lot of people saying it's like the Star Wars or like Lord of the Rings of our generation. I don't know if it's to that caliber. I think only time will tell. But overall, I really enjoyed it. What about you?
I can agree to that. Like, I don't know if it's going to be up to that caliber. It's funny because, again, like this is what inspired Star Wars to a degree.
Yeah, the book.
So it's funny in that respect, but at the same time, I feel like there's just a different aura and energy around it.
Which I enjoyed. It felt like a breath of fresh air because Star Wars has had like a chokehold on like the science fiction genre, and I felt like this was completely like different. I mean, obviously, it's like we've seen something similar in the first Dune, but like the Dune 1 and 2, like as a saga,
just this
like,
world is different. Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no. So I agree with that. I think it's good that it's different in that sense, and that it's not. It might not be as marketable or have that much of a
wide appeal.
You know, I'm not even going to say appeal, just like I'm going to say impact globally, right? Because of like you're not going to see like Dune toys, and I mean you are, but like not to like scale that like again like with the lightsabers or like with the action figures and stuff like that.
You mean like, you don't want like a little container that you can change your piss into like a filter that changes your piss into drinkable water? That's practical and fun.
Just get a life straw,
or just like the thumping thing. Like, dude,
that
also,
would be well.
I saw that in Dolby. I saw Dune in Dolby, and every time like the thing like thumped, like my seat
your whole
shook.
chair
really
like
cool.
shook.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go down the tangent.
I
know.
I was going I saw your eyes. Going there.
Yeah, you with my eyes there. You know what I was. That would be a successful toy. Say that.
An adult toy.
But yeah, no, but I like again. It's just the storytelling and just the energy I love. And again, Hans Zimmer, man, Hans Zimmer.
Oh my gosh,
the boy, just killing it with this.
I heard that I saw in an interview that he did that he started on the Dune 2 like soundtrack, like writing the score before Dune 1 I think even came out, or like maybe like right after, before like Dune 2 was even approved. I think because he just like was so enamored in the world, and he also said he wanted, and like Denis Villeneuve, the director, was like, Hans, like, what are you doing? Like, you don't need to do this yet. And he was like, I'm just so inspired, and I also want to be like to work in tangent like with you when you're developing Dune 2, so you're in the right like headspace, and just can stay immersed in the world. And like the stuff he was doing like helped inspire the screenplay, and it was kind of like a cyclical like creative process, it sounded like, which is
and that's
really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
that makes me think of the meme where it's like, bro didn't have to cook, and then it's like the guy with the like piano on fire on the beach.
Yeah. I love how anytime we mention music, like good music, that's like your go-to meme.
That's the go-to.
That guy, man.
Did we ever hear the actual sound clip that happened from that?
I have no idea. I imagine the actual sound clip is Duel of the Fates. Like, that's what I assume.
But yeah, dude.
I do have a little bit of interesting like budget stuff up top, like I always do. Yeah. But so this had a budget of $190 million, which sounds like a lot, but then I've seen people comparing like other movies and shows that have like a higher budget to this, and it's just like these other projects like that did worse like have to be a money laundering scheme because they look horrible compared to this. Like, just like so Dune had a budget of 190 million, looks like it does, has A-list actors and is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Ant-Man 3 had a budget of $275 million. So almost $100 million more for Ant-Man 3. A much worse movie in my mind. She-Hulk, the show, had like $25 million an episode, so I think it ended up being $225 million total. So She-Hulk cost more than Dune 2.
That is, oh my god, dude. That is, no.
And then the Flash movie was around 220 million as well. And
I feel bad that for like every single one of these that you're setting, I mean, these are bad examples you're setting on purpose, but just like every one I've given like an eye roll because it's just like,
yeah, that's the appropriate response.
They're all just so bad.
Yeah, I mean, they had everything has good elements to it, and like it comes from a place of love, I hope. But like this one is just like on another level of like what it was able to achieve with the constraints that it had.
Passion. There's so much passion for the craft.
Yeah, and also I think it's something to said about being like on set, like in a practical environment. Like they went out to the desert to do this. They have like and what you're able to achieve when you know what you're doing. Like they're not just throwing money at problems. They have like people at the top of their game, like making art. Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
No, when you said that, like being on set, my mind instantly went to like that like dwarf star planet thing where it's like all white. And I'm like,
star planet?
Like being on planet. You know what I'm talking about, like the planet with like the white sun,
the Harkonnen's planet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, obviously they didn't go to like a different planet.
I was like, how did they get there? You know?
That was really cool too. I read. I love the cinematographer, so I've been looking up a lot of interviews. But like he filmed that stuff like when they were outside in the sun with like special infrared cameras, so that it would.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it would pick up like in a sense like black and white, and I think they just had like super high like profile lights just shooting, because like I think regular LED or infrared cameras, like it's like really like desaturated or something, or like sorry, like low light, it's like it barely picks it up, it's like underexposed, so they just shot like a ton of harsh light at it. But yeah, the infrared stuff, so like they just shot it in like a really special way that like unless you know like you're like how cameras and lights interact together, like you're not gonna be able to like do that. And just like the effect it was giving, like this planet, I think the storytelling reason behind it is because it was like a planet with like a black sun, so like that's the way light would interact, which is why like when they're inside and they have like artificial lights, you can see like as they like are walking under lights, there's like flashes of color, and then like when they're on the other planet there's color, but like when they're outside on this planet it's like this super unique sci-fi look that like I've never seen before. I just think that stuff is rad.
Yeah. That was pretty dope. I love that, just the contrast and the dramatic feel that came from that, which fit for that kind of.
And the introduction to Austin Butler's like character, like. Phew.
Yeah, man, he really was killing it for like an hour.
Yeah, he like I was surprised at how late into the movie they introduced him, but he still felt like a formidable villain. But sorry, just one last thing about budget. I think as of now it's grossed like 460 million ish. On a budget of 190 million, so it's definitely like made its money back and is like I hope considered a success. But yeah, let's keep talking about individual characters. So I mean, we're kind of talking about Fade Rotha Harkonnen, which is Austin Butler's character.
Fade Baron.
What?
I'll just refer to him his ass because he was Fade Baron, right?
I'm just gonna call him Elvis or Austin Butler. But yeah, Fade. What'd you think?
He was also it. He's the it guy.
The it guy.
Literally. Yeah, he played it, didn't he?
No. What? He didn't
Wait,
play
no,
it.
not it. It was I thought it was another horror thing that he did.
I don't think he's done anything super horror prevalent. What are you talking about? Austin Butler was the guy that played Elvis.
Yeah.
And he was also in Hannah Montana, that horror movie.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the I'm thinking of the Rothscar or whatever guy. I don't know.
Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have like I don't know.
What do you think of Austin Butler in this?
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good. Again, I really liked how they set up his character to where it's like this pompous, like almost, well, like not insane. Almost. He was like a spoiled. Well, he is insane. But I'm saying like spoiled, and he's insane because like just how he was given his.
Yeah, like he's literally just killing his servants and like eating intestines and like it's freaking.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then also like you're able to see like when there's the House Atreides,
Atreides
last members there. How he's able to still like hold his own against, because was that guy in the first movie, the last guy that was the fighting there in that scene? In what scene?
He might have been. I'm not sure.
In the arena.
Oh yeah, like when he wasn't drugged, that guy.
Yeah, when he wasn't drugged. So it's like
I think he might have been the first. This is my only like I've been upset with myself about this is I didn't watch Dune 1 leading up to this. Like I've seen Dune 1 like a year or two ago, but I haven't watched it since then. And so like when I was watching this, I was kind of trying to backtrack in my head, which it didn't take me out of it. Like you could see this without having seen Dune 1 in a while, but I kind of wish I would have watched them. Like I'm considering, since it's still in theaters, like
Agreed.
Watching Dune 1 and then going back and watching the second one in theaters just to have like a complete picture of it. But yeah, dude, Austin Butler, like he gained like I think like 25 pounds of muscle or something like that. 25, really? 30 pounds of muscle. Yeah. And he looked
4 inches of forehead.
Good. And 4 inches of forehead, yeah. He actually had to wear a bald cap. He didn't shave his head because he was also filming like a biker movie with the trailer for it played in front of Dune for me, but like this biker gang movie with Tom Hardy, and like he has like flowing like luscious locks, and so like in his contract for that movie they were like, when they heard he was getting ready to sign for Dune, they were like, can you please not shave your head? Like, we need that.
Yeah.
You're like the sex appeal of this movie. But yeah, the one thing that took me out of I think the only thing that took me out of this movie was an Austin Butler thing. It was when so Stellan Skarsgård's character, like the Baron, decides to bring in Fade, his like nephew, like this Austin Butler's character, to like lead the mission on the planet Dune, like Arrakis, because like Dave Bautista's character is like failing at like keeping the Fremen at bay, and like the Fremen are like attacking and stopping like spice production. Austin Butler's master plan is just to shoot a ton of missiles at the Fremen home base. And then Stellan Skarsgård's like genius when he does that. I'm like, that seems like it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, no. Same. I was like, how did he know that they were there? Like, how did they get that information?
Yeah, they didn't really explain that. So maybe if I would have believed it more if like Austin Butler's character like somehow tracked like a Fremen person back to their base, but it just cut to them like nuking the base, and he was like, that's a master genius plan. I'm like, is it though? Like just shooting a ton of missiles at it? Like that's your master plan?
Did that happen before or after they killed the remember when they like got to the cave or whatever that had like the nukes, but they moved the nukes or whatever?
I think that was before the nuke cave. That also felt like a little bit like convenience plot. Like, oh, we just have this giant cavern of a million nukes all of a sudden. Okay.
Yeah. It's like
they're
the
like
house
desert
like,
power. We're gonna win with desert power and all these nukes. That's also gonna help.
Yeah, it was just weird. Also, technically, I'm trying again. This is like the disconnect from like the first movie because I haven't seen it in so long. But like House Atreides. So they were like controlling this planet for a while then, for that to be set up. But then why did his dad just end up going there at the beginning of the first movie? You know what I mean?
I think I think maybe more time passed between like within the first Dune than we think maybe, because like Paul had to like learn a lot and stuff. But like I remember also they sent like a party ahead of Paul's dad. Like Jason Momoa's character like went ahead like a month or two, maybe multiple months before the like Paul's dad, Oscar Isaac, went to like, and that's why he like got in with the Fremen. It was like a setup party so that they could like learn about the Fremen and their culture, and like just set up so that there was a base there once Oscar Isaac's character and his family like were ready to arrive. Like they had already been there for like a few months before that, so maybe they were in that process. They were starting to transfer these nukes over or something.
So you're saying they planted the nukes there?
Dude, I don't know. That's one thing
but this is what I'm getting at, because you're saying it's your grandfather's thing, and for the amount of like this the base and like the city that they had already there practically, I'm thinking like what if like it would have been generations of the Atreus family that would have had control over this planet for the spice trade.
It wasn't, because I think it used to be the Harkonnens. I think that's where the main conflict comes in. I think the Harkonnens used to have most of the control over this planet, and we're just using like that city as like a base. Like I don't think it was any one city that they set up. I think it was like an ancient city that is used as that base and like refurbished to like for their own needs. And then I think the Emperor like wasn't happy with like the Harkonnens or something, so he pulled them out and then gave control of Arrakis, the Dune, like the spice planet, to
that's right. Isn't that what happens in the beginning?
Yeah, and that's why. And then he sets up the Harkonnens and the Atreides against each other because of that, so that they fight over it. That's kind of like the main conflict in the first one.
Yeah,
like why that happens, and Christopher Walken's the Emperor, which also kind of took me out of it. Like every other character,
same. I saw him there. I'm like, there's no shot.
Yeah,
he might be like a politician or something. Like no, it's like he is the Emperor. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, every other character I could like, they're like huge actors that I like believe in these roles, and like I didn't like see them as their actor persona. I saw them as their character, except for Christopher Walken. I was like, that's Christopher Walken.
This is Christopher. Like he's like him glowing, like the silver aura, you know.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other actors and characters. Let's start with Paul Atreides.
Yeah.
He has so many freaking names in this. I could never tell when they were talking to him. He's Duke of Arrakis, the Kwisatz Haderach, Paul Muad'Dib, and then the Lisan Al Gaib. He was so many people.
Dude, he was, yeah.
I wonder, I didn't like actually see his name in the credits, but it'd be funny if it was like Timothée Chalamet and it was like listing like all of his names.
Dude, I would have done that. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Timothée Chalamet's performance as like this leading character, this like messiah figure?
I think he did a good job portraying him, and especially with the, it's interesting to see how he portrayed the foreseeing element and his emotion with that. That's one thing I think Timothy actually does pretty well, is understanding the emotion of the character, and
he's really good at the subtle moments and like to subtly evoke like a small emotion instead of being like a theater actor, like broad and which I think is a very important distinction.
That makes it feel much more genuine and real, which is good for that aspect of it.
That's what I've heard some people, I think my roommate included, like they're from acting. My roommates are from acting background, so they are more tuned into the performances of people and are like analyzing it, which is interesting to hear their perspective. I personally didn't think the actors like did like a bad job like at all, but I think my one roommate said he didn't believe Timothy's character in like a lot of the like loud, powerful scenes. Like when he was supposed to be like commanding a room, he didn't necessarily buy him in that role as much, which I could see where he's coming from, but it didn't really bother me. I was just curious if you felt that way or not.
No, it wasn't. For me, it wasn't his acting that was the thing there. It was more of the writing, actually, in my opinion.
Really? Like what specifically?
Yeah, well, it's just like he's going through this whole story where he's having like this conflict, right? Like he's getting like these glimmers and like visions of like coming into power and leadership, but also all the consequences that happen because of that. To eventually then be given the foreseeing water of life,
the worm cum,
worm cum,
piss,
and then
worm piss.
And then is then able to have clear visions and have a solid understanding of what needs to happen for him to be able to move forward to have the reality that he wants. But at that point, you then have to ask, okay, he has the knowledge, but why is he making these choices? And ultimately, like a lot of it, again, comes back down to, like, he wants to save the Fremen and the people and Arrakis.
Liberate the Fremen.
You also then have the conflict of like it's hard to understand like what he values.
Like his intentions, you don't always like understand what he's doing and why he wants, like what his ultimate goal is, which I honestly think is okay. Like for me at least, like I kind of like the mystery a little bit, and I'm hoping that there's gonna be other stories that, or like movies that like explain it a little further. But I think that might be one of the main points, is that like I think he's losing himself, maybe his initial incentive for doing certain things was to protect his original family. And I think in this movie, it shifts to protecting the Fremen and becoming one with them. And then I think towards the end of this, when he drinks the worm piss, there's another change, and like he maybe wants power or something. I don't know. Like I'm still kind of figuring it out, which I think
my point.
Is okay.
It's yeah. No, I agree. I think it's okay, but at the same time, then again goes my point where it lends to that those questions being asked.
Yeah, I like that. And this is another reason, again, going back to my very initial thoughts of like this is a breath of fresh air and like sci-fi. I feel like a lot of like recent Star Wars stuff, and which again is more catered towards kids, is like I feel like I'm being spoon-fed like plot points. I like that this one I'm really having to think. That's one thing I give this movie a lot. Like it's a complicated plot, and it like trusts the filmmakers and like trust the audience to like figure it out kind of more than the other films like Star Wars stuff.
Kind of. If I'm being honest, this was a little more predictable.
Yeah? You thought so?
Yeah, with the way it was with the Force. Like again, I still love the movie. I'm not like, I feel like I'm kind of being antagonizing here, but like I love the movie. But there's so many points to where you get instances and you know where things are going to go. Like for example, like early on, it's like when his mother became Reverend Mother.
She went from 0 to 100 so quick. She was like, I don't want to do this. I like whatever. And then like she drinks the worm piss, and the next scene she's like face tatted up. I literally was like jump scared. I was like, what happened to you?
Yeah. But it's like she's like, oh, you need to drink this. Like literally, like early on, she's like, you need to drink this to get the true meaning. It's like, okay, well that's that's gonna happen. Literally, it's not even foreshadowing. That's just foretelling. It's gonna happen, right? And then later on, you're getting the things with Florence and her Reverend Mother, and I'm like, okay, no, these two are gonna be set up to be like, it's her and Paul are gonna be.
I didn't know that.
No, I knew that like right away. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, she, like that's gonna be like a power thing, and that was also reinforced when his sister was saying like you need to keep your hand open.
That was so weird. Thing. I like completely blocked that out of my mind until you just brought it up. The fact that there was a baby speaking to the mom inside the womb, I completely forgot about that until you brought that up, and I just got the shivers remembering that. Yeah, it's so creepy.
It's just I think of like Death Stranding where you got like the baby in like the container thing. But like it like tells you, not really, but like it guides you to like through the Death Stranding world, stuff like that. Gotcha. So it's kind of like that, but worse.
That's like maybe that's symbolizing like Denis Villeneuve, the filmmaker, is like annoyed at like pregnant people for like using their babies as an excuse for everything, and that he's just like visualizing that. I don't know, probably not.
I do think it was great though, seeing like how people, you could see the reactions from like the background and stuff like that when she was talking to her child, openly. And they're like scared or confused.
I'd be scared and confused too.
but it makes sense. It was just like a nice genuine touch that was there, But again, just going back to my original point about the predictability, right? Like even when it came to the final fight, is to the Elvis guy, like Paul's going to kill him, like he's being set up to so Paul will kill him.
That was a sick fight though.
It was a sick fight. You get to the point where Paul gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Right? So he's got the knife in him. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I already know what's going to happen. Paul's going to like do a thing where he has his arm up and he's like fighting the knife thing.
Well, good for you.
He's going to take the ones in him and put them in.
Sure.
And then he did that. I'm like, okay, like maybe I'm Lisa Nalgip. I'm foreseeing.
Yeah, maybe you had your soda was actually worm piss on accident that you got from the concession stand.
Dude, I did have a blue raspberry icy. So.
Oh boy. I do, just going back to Timothée Chalamet, last couple things I want to say. I think this is the best case, like his big speech, the best case of a movie title being said in the movie that I think I possibly have ever seen. Because like when it's often so cheesy when they say like the name of the movie, but then like when he is like talking about the planet, he's like, I will free Arrakis, and then he's like, I will free this planet Dune, and then like keeps going. I was like, whoa, like that shook me. I really liked just that speech and the way he delivered that, and it'd be funny if he was like Dune Part 2 and then kept going. That probably would have taken me out of it, but
we'll make another Dune.
Yeah.
Dune 2.
Tune. I would have lost if you said tune. All right, let's talk about Zendaya bits. I am not gonna lie, I thought her character's name, it's Chani. I thought they were saying Johnny the whole movie. I was like, who?
I got that sometimes too.
I was like, what? This is like all these sci-fi names, like that Lisa Nalgip, and then we've got John. I was like, who is this? And then like afterwards, I looked it up, and it was Johnny. Yeah, it was Johnny. But yeah, what are your thoughts on her performances and acting?
I think she did really good. Again, she does good with the emotional aspects to a degree, but also, again, I feel like it's maybe the writing of her character.
Yeah.
To certain points. Because she's more like the love interest, but also guide in a way. But like, the best way I can characterize this role is just in general, when in any kind of media is like the like Katara. Like that's what I wanted it to feel like.
Okay.
Love interest, guide, teacher.
Yeah.
She was teaching Paul the ways, and it eventually developed into a kinship.
But
then that, I don't know, this just didn't hit the way I thought it was going to.
I think I agree with you. I think it's better. I think I've heard people say that in the book, it's even further away from what you are wanting. Like in the book, it's very similar, except at the end when Paul is like, I'm gonna marry the Emperor's daughter, like Florence Pugh's character. Mm-hmm. After that, like Chani like is upset, but still kind of like goes along with Paul and eventually like has his kids or something like that. So she kind of like stands idly by and is just like kind of like just lets it wash over her. In this, it's not as far as Katara, but it seems like they've deviated and she's like not having that at all, which I like that change.
Agreed. No. Yeah, I don't know what's in my throat today, but yeah, no, I agree with that. I like that is that because again, she's a strong, independent character. Like that's kind of like so that reinforces that. I think that's a good way to change that.
I thought Zendaya did a good job. Like she is a strong-willed character, but like not obnoxious and like in your face about it, which I think a lot of strong-willed female characters are often written to be, to like overcompensate. And I think this was a really good
She's
balance.
like a survivor. She'll do what she needs to do to get shit done.
Yeah. All right. Now, next character. We talked about Lady Jessica, who went from 0 to 100 with the worm piss. Talked about Austin Butler. Stilgar, Javier Bardem.
Yeah,
I think he was like
Stilgar,
my favorite character in this. Yeah,
the memes before I saw the movie, and I'm like, what? Why? I don't get this. When I saw the movie, like literally, like 2 instances in to him doing it, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And then it just kept on happening.
And him just being the best hype man in the galaxy.
Yeah. He's like, as foretold.
He was so funny, but also in all seriousness was like fantastic and like great.
Yeah.
Like he was great in both, in like the funny moments and the like serious moments. Like the sand walking, like it was great. Him teaching him sandworm riding. I've been like, going back to the memes. I've been talking to my roommates about like funny memes, like for the Lisan Al Gaib. Like anytime I plug in the USB on the first try, Lisan Al Gaib. I've seen like one like when I reset my grandparents' router and the internet starts working again. Lisan Al Gaib.
Lisan Al Gaib. As foretold.
Yeah, he was great. We've also got Stellan Skarsgård, who played the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, who was killed in this. Freaking good karma there.
Yeah.
Apparently, Austin Butler going in for seconds on that kiss was improvised as well.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is funny.
Nice.
I thought he did a good job. His prosthetics look fantastic always. Like he just is completely transformed.
I think he's one of the best examples of like one of the popular actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Again, you see them as their character,
right?
And not as
yeah. He's the one extreme, the good extreme, and then Christopher Walken's the other extreme.
Emperor. Yeah.
We got Florence Pugh. She's kind of like, I've heard that she's like Zendaya's character in the first one, where she's barely in this movie, but in the next movie, if they do one, like she'll be a more prominent character. She just kind of sits in her tower, writing in her diary all day. We got Josh Brolin.
Let me read on my
Dave
little
Bautista.
scene there. Paul Atreides lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about the plot and the story a little bit. We've kind of been hinting at it, like we talked about it. I like have watched some TikToks like kind of explaining the story of Dune, and this is like my understanding of it. I kind of want to like run you through it and see if you agree or disagree or like this makes sense. So this is my understanding of the Dune story. It's a little complicated. And this is also good like backstory for anyone that's maybe a little confused. So the Bene Gesserit are the group of witch women. And they, like, for generations, thousands of years, have been, like, spreading prophecies, like, and, like, fake, maybe not fake, but, like, just been spreading, like, fake religions, like, to lesser developed planets, like, eons ago. So, like, they went to, like, the Fremen planet, like, the Arrakis, and, like, set up this prophecy, and, like, for, like, generations ago, and said there's going to be this coming of this Messiah. And then they've also, in the meantime, have been setting up, like, bloodlines and, like, crossbreeding, like, to like eventually create this like Messiah-like figure called the Kwisatz Haderach in like their Bene Gesserit lore. So in the present, Paul's mother was supposed to marry the Duke of Caledon, who is Oscar Isaac, and she did, and they were supposed to have a child. And in the Bene Gesserit witch culture, you can decide what gender, what sex your kid's gonna be. So they chose to have she was supposed to have a girl, and then the Harkonnens were supposed to have a boy, which they did. That's Austin Butler's character. And then those two were supposed to have a kid, and that was going to be the Messiah, like the Kwisatz Haderach, I believe. But Paul's mother didn't listen, and she had a son instead, which was Paul, Timothée Chalamet's character, and was training him in the way of like the voice, and like to kind of train him to be the Kwisatz Haderach like a generation early. And the Bene Gesserit are like, this can't be the Messiah, whatever, because like this isn't according to our plan. But she's like, he has like the ability, he might be it. So then they all go to Dune, like Arrakis, and the Fremen have been told by the Bene Gesserit that they're supposed to have this Messiah figure. Like they have this religion that's been established for generations, and there's this figure called the Lisan al-Gaib, and it's Paul. And Paul initially doesn't really like believe that he's the Lisan al-Gaib, but then kind of like leans into it. And so like he kind of becomes the Lisan al-Gaib. In this story, we see that happen. So that's kind of like my understanding of the Dune lore. Does that make sense? Did I miss anything?
No, that makes perfect sense. That was a really good explanation of that. I've heard theories to where they're just like, I mean, it's not really a theory. It's like Paul isn't Lisan al-Gaib. He's just some guy, technically, because of the circumstance of it. But he's, because, again, as you said, because of the circumstance, he leans into it.
And the worm
is
piss.
Able to kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's interesting because then also that's weird to think about, because there's also like, how long has Dune or Arrakis been in the current? Because before, like they
been
say
in the
it
what?
used to be like that Arrakis is like all like sandy and stuff, right? Like how long has it been like that?
Yeah, I don't know, because like they said before, it used to be like rolling seas and hills and stuff,
Exactly.
right?
So is that before the prophecies were foretold, or is that
I don't know.
after?
I don't know. I kind of want to read the book, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Is there like a dictionary at the end or something like that you got to read to understand stuff?
I have no idea. It took me forever to just like learn Bene Gesserit, Kwisatz Haderach, Lisan al-Gaib.
Just pronouncing those words.
Yeah. I still don't even know if I'm pronouncing them right.
How long do they live for, the bizarre witch people?
The witch people? I don't know. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah. Ting tang, whatever.
That dance I did with Quay was still the. It was the. Dude. Yeah. That's what. when me and Quay won the first time with like beating the seniors, Lisa and Allegheny.
Just going back to the plot, I think that the progression of the Fremen, like accepting, like not trusting Paul at first to then accepting him as the Lisan al-Gaib over the course of the movie, I feel like that could have felt really rushed, but I think it felt like it was paced out really well. Like I believed that they started to believe, and it didn't feel like it was just like a flip all of a sudden.
You believe they were believing.
I believe. Yeah.
But you know, I agree. I think and it was also nice how they broke it up too into the different subgroups. Like there's the North and the South, and like how to get support in the South, there's certain customs. But like again, I like how it was like this situation where Paul was able to foresee like what he didn't have to say in order to persuade them all.
Yeah, freaking Paul walking up and that was so cool. Like Timothée Chalamet like walking up being like, they're like, you can't talk at this council meeting. And he's like, your grandmother's name is like Ronaldo or something. Like I don't know, but like, and then like he's like, and you dream of like worm piss or something. And then they're like, oh, Lisan al-Gaib. Like I know I'm butchering it, but I thought that was a pretty boss moment.
Yeah, no, it was, dude. It was it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because imagine that happening. Like, if somebody's just like, oh, yeah, like, I know you and like, your life story and your family.
That's kind of like a trope. Not a trope, but I just watched, I've been on a Denis Villeneuve kick, and I watched his film Arrival, and like one of the, I don't want to spoil it because it's a really good movie, but one of the like main plot points at the end is like, there's like some time travel, and like someone says something that only like a time traveler would know, like they say like something a deceased loved one had said to like this world leader, and that convinces them to like stop World War III basically. And it's like a big revelation of like, oh, you shouldn't know that, but you do because of these powers you have. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's like a trope that he has.
Interesting.
But yeah, also I want to highlight the cinematography again, but the action as well. I thought the action in this was really good. Like the scene, I think my favorite action scene was Paul and Chani taking down like the spice collector, just like bazookaing. I mean,
dude, that was dope.
That was so sick, and him running under the legs. I also love the moment
when he messed up the timing.
Yeah,
of, like the leg thing, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
He's like bucking even more.
Yeah. I thought
my one thing with that though, when they kind of did it later on, when they're doing like the montage stuff, when they're doing more spice harvesters and like removing them, was like they had the giant freaking lasers that would just like shoot through them, right?
Right.
Why didn't you start off with that?
I don't know. Maybe they were charging.
You lost so many guys.
Yeah, it looks cooler this way.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's more cinematic. But yeah, also the sandworm
like riding?
Sandworm riding. Oh my gosh, yeah. That apparently took like a couple months to film.
Oh, dude, I love the anatomy explanation though of like, because if you think about it, like you see the worms and they go through the sand and you're like, where's all the sand go? Are they just like eating it? But then like then you see it like when they raise it up like with the hooks, you get the pores there for like the sand and like the air to come out. And that also explains like, oh, that's how they don't get like tossed and like coiled around,
right?
Because they have the flaps open, causing them to be like, hey, like I don't want to get sand.
To stay upward, yeah.
So, like, that I love like just visually like it's not telling. It was literally like biologically showing how that made sense, and I love that.
Yes, that's a great point. I didn't even think about it exactly like that, but that totally makes sense. And also, just VFX working harmoniously with the cinematography. Like seriously, like not a single shot took me out of it. Like, oh, that looks a little wonky. Like everything like looked perfect in my mind.
Yeah.
The music, Hans Zimmer, like we said. Do you have any future predictions for Dune 3? If they do one, I don't think it's officially announced yet.
Yeah, so there's that one witch lady who got the semen, whatever, from the
worm
Elvis guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make
Another
the actual
Lisan Al-Gaib or Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah, Kwisatz Haderach. So they're trying to make that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna be like a generation behind.
Well,
so that's gonna be, unless they do like some weird like future aging thing or like some dark magic.
I think they could. It might be a generation behind, but they said they had multiple bloodlines like at play, like, and also what's her face, Rebecca Ferguson's character, like Paul's mom, is gonna have a girl, which was the original plan. So maybe that child can have a kid with like someone else. I don't know. Austin Butler's dead now, so.
But now that's the thing. Now he's dead. So their original plan is effed. That's my point. That's why they're going through all the trials and tribulations to do this new. They're still trying to make their dude, but like they're now doing it through their own other like backwash way. So then it's going to become this question of who's going to be the real one in the future. I don't know. Probably we'll get that in the next movie, but
yeah, I think
that's one just plot tree that's going on.
I think in the next book is called Dune Messiah, and it takes place like 12 years after this series. So I think I heard that Denis Villeneuve wants to do Dune 3 eventually, but he wants to take a little bit of a break because he doesn't want to just make Dune movies for the rest of his career. Like he wants to pursue other things. And I think it also works so that he can do that, and also so the actors age up. The cast
age up.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, and I think also I read that or saw like some breakdowns that the reason the original author, Frank Herbert, wrote Dune Messiah is because when people read Dune, they misconstrued the fact that Paul is not the hero. Like they thought Paul was like this savior and like a hero. And Frank Herbert was like, no, that's not the point. Like Paul's like a bad guy. And so he wrote Dune Messiah to show like how bad Paul could get. So I think we're going to see some like Darth Vader villain turning in the next one, which is kind of exciting in my opinion.
It's weird that they're trying to make him. I mean, I get it. It makes sense because you see hints of that throughout. Like he's like when his mother's like, "I don't believe your father didn't believe in revenge," and he's like, "Well, I do." You know?
Yeah.
Like moments like that, you start seeing like what Paul values and what he's trying to accomplish. And again, I think that's the thing we were talking about before about like what are his values and like what is he actually trying to accomplish here. He's now avenged his father. That's the thing. So if he's at a point now to where it is just about power, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah. I've heard Duncan Idaho, Josh Brolin's character, has a more prominent role in the future books as well, potentially.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to look too much into it because I kind of want to be surprised. I think now that this first two are done, I might go read the first Dune, but I don't think I'm going to go beyond that.
Yeah, also, at the end of the first Dune, or maybe I'm thinking of the movie, I think it's the movie actually because they changed it a lot. Because at the end they terraformed the planet, right, and made it back to being green.
In the book?
At the end of the no, in the movie, the original movie, back way in like the 80s.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the original movie. All right. Any other last minute final thoughts on Dune? Which one do you like better, Dune 1 or Dune 2? Or Tune? Dune 1 or Tune?
They're both good. They're both different, have their own energy. I kind of want to say Tune for both internal and external reasons. Externally, the freaking like merch with like the cup or whatever that is the fleshlight worm cup thing. I just think that's hilarious.
You like Dune 2 better because of the AMC popcorn bucket?
Yeah, dude, it's literally an excellent marketing play.
That's
but then
crazy.
Also, internally within the actual movie itself, I'm saying that as a joke, but like, come on.
Yeah.
But like, I think the movie lends to having a stronger connection with the characters.
Mine's Tune.
Compared to the first one, but also lends to like the storytelling in a way is done in a way where you're just like,
yeah, and I think that's the way it's kind of set
where things
up.
are going.
Like I think the first one was an incomplete story, and this one was all the payoff of that first one. So I think I'm also more inclined to like the second one because it's this like the exciting part of like a regular story, like Act 2 and 3, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right.
Yeah.
Want to do a little post banter since we've been kind of behind on stuff?
Yeah, man.
So Oscars happened. Woo! I know you're not a fan of the Oscars.
I never pay attention to that shit.
I know.
I don't give about people's awards. Like it's like oh yeah, let's stroke each other's cocks in Hollywood. Ooh.
Kung Fu Panda 4 came out. I don't think you've seen it.
I haven't.
I have.
It's on my list.
Do you want me to say anything or no?
You sound like you're disappointed.
I am disappointed. I liked it. It's a fun watch. I watched it when my sister was out here, which was fun to be with her watching it. It's a fun watch, but it, in my opinion, did not live up to the first 3. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Damn.
It's still a fun watch, but yeah, didn't live up to the first 3. And like I hold the first 3 to a very high caliber, so it kind of was disappointing.
That's all I need to know. I mean, still gonna watch it, but like,
yeah, definitely watch it.
I don't want to have
There's like good
else.
action in there, but yeah. Avatar: Last Airbender live action. Did you finally finish that?
I am on the last episode.
Oh my gosh, bro. What's even the point? All right. Are you ready for patron shoutouts then?
Dude, I mean, we can still talk about it.
No, because you haven't seen the whole thing. All right, fine. Well, little spoilers for... Oh, yeah, spoilers for Dune from forever ago. And then Dune 2.
Yeah.
And then for Avatar. Yeah, what do you think?
I will say I don't like it.
Suki. Yeah. The more I sit away from it, the more I'm like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. I was talking to my students about it, and it was funny because they had very good points. They're like, hey, it's not like giving more information and or developing upon the original animation. They're just changing things.
Mm-hmm. Like for the sake of changing things.
Because there's no added value.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be watched and or liked. And I think that's a valid point. I think if it was done in a way where you're actually getting like a deeper connection to like the characters and or the story, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. So like for example, the best part of it, again, in my opinion, was the beginning.
Yeah, the
where
first,
you're able to see. Yeah, like the Fire Nation beginning their attack on the.
Yeah, I don't know though. Actually, like I was watching another breakdown and they brought up a good point. Like in the original show, like you're slowly brought into the world, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying about Dune. Like how I feel like on a lot of media, you're like spoon fed plot points, and it felt like in the original Avatar they were just really driving home like this is what the Avatar is, this is what the Fire Nation are doing. Like they a lot of times don't show like they like in Ozai's first, or not Ozai, who the heck is Sozin, they're like we're gonna attack the Air Nation. Like they don't show it, like they tell us his plan first. Like I just like let me see it. And also like in the original show, like they introduce you to the world and there's this kind of sense of mystery to it. You start small with like this kid and the like this bald monk and then 2 water tribe people, and then you like as they go around the world you like discover new things. And this one they're kind of like forcing all the world building on you and like driving it home, like telling you like 4 times what everything is so that you like process it, which doesn't make sense because most people watching the show already know the world, and also it's like kind of takes away that feeling of like excitement for like discovering the world as the characters go through it, kind of thing.
I can agree to points in that, but at the same time you also kind of made a like your argument that like the audience is people that have already seen the show and like know what the world is.
That's not the only reason.
Like,
yeah.
But like, again, it's because of that. Like, because we already know the story, I feel like it would be again like it's good to see. I'm not saying like it was executed perfectly in the show, like how like the raid on the Air Nomads was. But I'm saying the fact that we still were able to see that in some context.
Yeah.
That's something that like I think is interesting.
Yeah, I like the fact that we saw it as well, but yeah, elements around it and how it was portrayed wasn't always my favorite. But anyways, all right, now you ready for Patron shoutouts?
Yeah, man, hit me with them.
Cue the episode music. Bushka, Patron, Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. Thank you to the shout out and the supporters over on Patreon. Links down in the description. Get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you seriously, sincerely, for Patron supporters. Are you ready for cool comments?
Yeah, what are people saying now?
So, on our most emotional Pixar moments episode, Lunar Butterfly said, Inside Out is awesome. Loved this episode. The most emotional Pixar moments for me is definitely Andy giving his toys away in Toy Story 3. It feels like saying goodbye to your childhood.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, never fails to make me cry. I realized I didn't want to grow up, and now I want to go back and remember what all of that feels like again. Also, Toy Story never fails to make me feel guilty for all my old toys. I get that. Toy Story 3 always makes me cry. Yeah. I think I always makes me sad when Andy gives up his toys, but also it's kind of it's a bittersweet because you're moving on to the next chapter in life. You know, it's good to remember where you came from, but like don't get hung up on the past too much. You know.
Yeah.
Learn from it and be better in the future. And on that note,
I don't agree with the original take that at the beginning of that comment, but you know, it is what it is.
You don't agree with the original take?
Read that comment again. How did it
start? Oh, Inside Out is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead with the introduction.
The depression. Oh no. We just talked about whatever we want to talk about now. We're done.
All right. See you next time. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Peace out.